Hello, welcome back to Snacks and Stacks. I like to talk about books, TV shows, and movies, and today we're talking about my latest 5-star read, The Deepest Blue by Sarah Beth Durst. I'm sorry if you can hear like a lot of doggies walking or toys because new puppy means new stuff, new sounds. She's been very active this morning, and I was afraid if I closed the door to my office, she would just start like scratching it up. I wanted to do a dedicated video for this book because I don't think enough people are talking about this series. And this is a standalone that goes with the Queens of Renthia series, which I'll put up here. They just recently got new covers, which I think is very exciting. And so I think that means that there's more of a possibility of these getting picked up, and I don't want people to pick those up and then forget about this standalone. Let's kind of talk about the original trilogy. I read the original trilogy, I think last year, and it is full of this menacingly dooming spirits. And what I mean by that is we might all know Sarah Beth Durst from dropping books here, The Spell Shop, which is a cozy fantasy. However, the Queens of Renthia series definitely has a more menacing tone over it. And I think she does a really good job of explaining the magic in this world in this really quick little spot here in this book. And so I'm just going to read it out to you because she does it best. So in this world, there are 6 kinds of spirits: water, air, fire, earth, ice, and wood. Sometimes the last one is called life, which basically just means plant life. And the spirits vary in intelligence. Some are as smart as us, and others are as dumb as a barnacle. But they all operate on 2 basic instincts: to create and to destroy. So I don't want to read too much from the book, but these 2 basic instincts are always fighting each other, and their natural thought to create sometimes is too much. And so they, unfortunately, they hate it. These spirits hate it, but they need humans in order to balance it out. But they see humans as people who ultimately destroy their creations, and so they want to kill all humans. There are groups of women that are called queens and heirs that have a power, they're born with this, to control them. So there are various levels of power, and you can control them by basically going into their minds, and you can see what they see and then change their thoughts. And that's how you're able to control the spirits and keep them from destroying people. Hopefully I explained that well enough. There are still regular animals that live in this world, and the spirits are all kind of eerie. Like some of them have human-like features, some of them don't, some of them fly, some of them don't. They're all kind of weird. But yeah, so that's the world. The world is so vividly described, and everything is just, it's a scary place, honestly, because you're never sure if the spirit that the queen, there's like a queen of each land that holds an incredible amount of power, which is given to her from the spirits. They've agreed to give her the power to control them, to keep them balanced. And you're never quite sure, like, when that queen could die. And when the queen dies, there's a period of chaos because there's no one controlling these spirits, and they can just destroy everything. And there are also wild spirits in which are not controlled by any queen, and they can just come and destroy humans as they will. Now, Queens usually have heirs, women that have been training to take over. And because of this, those heirs usually go out to anywhere where spirits are coming, wild spirits, and they will defend like lands. In the original trilogy, there's like a whole process in which these like massive lands, they kind of show you how each land has their own traditions of picking a queen, picking an heir, training heirs, etc., etc. However, in the deepest blue, we are on these like little islands. Okay, so we have this map of Renthia, and the main trilogy is taking place here in Arete, where everyone kind of lives in trees, and there's a castle here. And eventually in that series, we also travel up to Simo. But what we're talking about is Beline down here. Okay, and down here, there's these little tiny islands. And the way it works with the queen and powers down there are very different, because you find out that there's actually something much larger and older and in the ocean, which plays on this role of the ocean in our lives, right? I can't remember the percentage, but only 30% of the ocean has ever been discovered. The ocean is vast and mysterious, and there's just so much underwater that we don't even know about. And that kind of plays into this book and the creepiness of it. And we have a young woman who has powers but has been keeping it a secret for all her life, because in these islands, the minute you show that you have power, you get forcibly recruited as either you live, but you denounce your family and your name and all that stuff, and you become a silent one, which is a group of women who go around and find all the women who have power and then sort of protect the land a bit. Or you go to this island. It's this island of testing where all the spirits there are told to test the women who show up, and only the survivors will then become heirs. And when you become an heir, you learn the tricks and tips to then become the queen. And in this place, there's groves in both stories, but the grove is where the heirs will go, and you're asking the spirits to accept you as queen. And in Beline, because it's so pertinent that there is a queen as soon as possible, basically have heirs that sleep over in the grove and they stay there for hours and they switch out so that there's always someone there to take over right away. So you feel this sense of urgency. You feel a sense that the queen is powerful and very important. But there's a lot of political dynamics in this that comes into play as well. And I just found that this book not only took parts of my favorite parts of the world building, but also I absolutely love the main character in this book. I read some of the reviews. Some people really did not like her. They felt that she didn't have much growth and she was kind of whiny. So if you don't like a reluctant chosen one, I think you will not like this book. However, I love that she was just trying to survive. I love that the main character felt like it could be someone that I'm friends with, that, you know, possibly could be me, you know, someone who just doesn't want to be a hero. She's not out to try to save the world. She really just wants to go home. In the very beginning, she's getting ready for her wedding, and her wedding gets attacked by wild spirits, and to protect as many as she can, that's when she unleashes her power for the silent ones to come and find her. And she's on the run for a while too. And so you feel this sense that she wants to survive to be with her husband, and the romance in this was so great. Her husband, although is a little flippant and like just he's kind of just winging it, which I think is sort of fantastic, because sometimes you're just so desperate to try to make things work that you kind of have to wing it. I gave this 5 stars even though I know it's flawed, because you don't find this type of relationship and this type of, I think, just ordinary characters trying their best a lot. Like, at least I don't know. There's something about the way that these characters build their friendships and relationships with each other that I really like. I was so absorbed in the setting and all the things going on that some of the twists, I did not think they were very predictable, but maybe I don't read a ton of epic fantasy, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed the lore in this. I really enjoyed the main characters, and I would love to know if anyone has read this book, has read the original trilogy, and have not read this book. I really recommend it. I thought that the original trilogy ended on a down note. I absolutely love Delena in the original trilogy. I loved the first book. Probably also, like, she wanted to be a hero so bad, but she just didn't have the power for it. And what's funny is, like, I didn't love the rest of the series because the main character in those books was really the reluctant chosen one. I don't really feel like Mayara was a reluctant chosen one. She would step up to the plate when she needs to, and that's what I loved about her. I also think that she knew her boundaries. Like, she knew that she wasn't powerful enough. She knew that she doesn't know enough because she has never really used her powers to do much. And I'm still a sucker for happy endings and a sucker for just like a satisfying, good ending, because we live in a world that is so chaotic and so crazy and so possible of sad things that I think it's nice to read a book that ends on a good note. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but I love this ending. I loved the note of how it goes, and I really think more people should read this book. It's a good introduction to the Queens of Renthia series as well. As you can see, I read a bit of the passage. It explains everything. I don't quite think that you need to read the 3 original trilogy books to understand this book, and I don't quite think that you need those books to understand how this one works. I really think you can jump in blind and just enjoy it just the way it is. And I think it's perfect for summer because it is very water heavy, very ocean heavy. I live by the beach, so for me this is like perfect. So yeah, I highly recommend. Please let me know if you would be willing to try it out, have tried it out, if you agree, disagree. Let's have discussions in the comments because I love that. Happy snacking, happy reading, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.